Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
What's up? What's up, friends? Welcome back. I should have moved my mic beforehand. Welcome back to the TV Terminal. My name is Adam Bale, senior editor over at Koalition.com.
My name is Lawrence, aka a punk with toys, and I was trying to figure out what's above my Cobra symbol. I couldn't figure it out, but then I realized part of my lamp is in the way, and then it's part of the white wall. I was trying to figure out. I was just trying to figure out. I'm like, I don't have any display there. I'm like, what the hell is that? And I had to look back. I'm like, oh, now I can see it.
See, there you go. And then the whole time I'm sitting, I'm like, I feel like I'm missing something. And then I realized, yeah, my mic is to the side of me. I was like, I didn't move it. It's like, shoot.
No, Ghost Lamp hasn't been turning on recently.
What did you figure it out? Was it the light bulb or short?
I'm just assuming it's a short. There it is.
Mm-hmm.
It hasn't been turning on at all. So, yes, that's a plus.
It's waiting for a trigger. We have to say something, and it's like, oh, so tell me about, I don't know, some certain character, like some, was it they said we talk about like some, I don't know,
Be anything random.
It could be anything random. It could be, it's like, oh yeah, I don't know, Michael Jackson or something. Who knows?
I can't keep on track with stuff, so.
All right, it's all this stuff. We got a lot of stuff. So we're talking about a lot of stuff. There was a lot that happened in this episode. So thanks again for joining us, people. This is Tulsa King season 3, episode 3. The G and OG.
Can we say there's a lot that happened in this without a lot happening?
We can, because it was a lot of filler, but we talked about it right before we started recording. There's got to be a reason for all this filler, all the things that happened, right?
Taylor Sheridan doesn't really do things that don't have a payoff, a purpose. I mean, we got to see the character of like Cleo, what's caused Cleo and Mitch to not survive as a couple.
Mm-hmm.
We got to see Tyson constantly getting himself in trouble.
Yeah.
We're seeing what's happening with Manfredi. So there's
more with the agent, figuring out what's going on with his agent, and it seems like he's out on his own. He's got his own issues that he needs dealing with, and he's hiring Dwight to deal with it for him.
It seems like there's something. Whether Armand is no longer, on the show. And
how funny would that be? If this is this whole workaround, and we never see him, it's because he's no longer on the show.
He's like Wilson from Home Improvement. You only see his eyes.
Yeah, or when Rick Grimes left The Walking Dead, and they were constantly talking about, we're gonna find Rick. Oh, he's over here. Oh, we're gonna get Rick. And Michonne's having flashbacks and all this stuff and seeing things.
Michonne just leaves. It leaves her kid. And then his kid to go find the dad or to go find Rick who scratched in his
we can go deep with that one because the actress also left the show because she was going to do some Broadway. So if anything, they just left these TV kids.
She's done some other videos.
Oh too. Yeah. That's right. She did. But
just so you know, if anyone wants to look it up, I'm not going to say no. Her name is Michonne on the show. You do the rest, and
that's it.
It's legit. If you look, I'll just say that.
Beware. All right, so let's get into this. This pretty interesting. So we get Dwight. He gets a phone call, and this begins the road trip. He gets a call from the. Go ahead. What?
Well, we basically have everyone meeting at the distillery. And they're all going their separate ways. Basically, this episode
that wasn't the plan, though. That was
no, but the episode is setting up. Hey, they're all going to go their separate ways in this because they all have to be away from this to have everything set up how it ends up at the end of the episode.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, because from right off the bat, what we do know is that Brody, Grace, and Tyson are supposed to be bottling at the distillery. That's their job. That's what they're supposed to be doing. But obviously, what happens here is that all three these groups go on their own adventures and produce different results.
Yeah. So Dwight gets a call from Musso to meet me here. And he's like, it's bad timing. And he told him from day one, hey, you drop whatever you're doing. Now, he also knows what he's doing, right? Like we've seen.
He knows about the distillery. He
everything
knows
that's
about
happening.
Ray. He knows. How does he know? I think we'll find out later on, because clearly he's not doing all the sneaking around. He's got somebody else watching him.
Him and Jackson from Slow House are then Jackson was
Lamb.
Yeah,
Yep.
Jackson Lamb. They know everything, so they're like working together. Like, hey, okay, I got these idiots. How about your idiots?
Before I forget, because I think I was gonna forget about this. What if the deputy and that whole scene, and we're like, oh, this has to be for a reason. There's like a lot of filler with all this. What if that's it? This was just all to swerve Dwight. This is the person who's been watching.
I don't think
the deputy. So. He's a local. He's a local cop. It's got to be someone.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. That
we don't know how far out they are. If I believe he was a sheriff, so a sheriff's gonna handle a whole county. I don't think it was a police officer. So even if you got out of Tulsa, if you're still in that county, because they're on their way to Texas. Now they don't say how far down in Texas. They do say about 3 hours away.
Oh man, it's a long drive to just.
Well, when you're doing 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, and that's why he got pulled over, right? So. But so quick, he meets up with them and says, "Hey, we're going on this trip." Wait a
minute, wait. There's some stuff leading up to that.
But then it's just the gist of it. I mean, I thought.
Well, he gets dropped off and he gets in the car, and the car just takes off. And it's an autonomous driving car. Now the fact that the car took off that quickly. Now this was one of those like, okay, come on, like. Even by now, I know he's been out of prison for 2 years. He'd know that there are.
Well, have you ever been in a self-driving car?
Hell no.
Me neither. I have not been in a self-driving car.
But they don't take off like that because I have a few of them around me, and what I mean by that is like Magna is one of our clients, so sometimes I see one that is driving through the parking lot. Okay. I don't trust them. Well, I don't. I saw Maximum Overdrive. I don't trust him.
I don't know, but what I also don't get is him pulling out a gun.
Yes.
And just deciding to fire a weapon in the vehicle. That's not a smart move.
And he acted like he doesn't know what would happen if he fired a gun in a small area. And it doesn't make sense, right? So that was kind of far-fetched, but it was comical.
Yeah. I guess that's what they were going for. He said something in the car. Thought he said nods and started playing music.
But I like when the car took off, and then he's like freaking out about it, and and then it starts playing. I forget what music it was, but
it was Nas. Yeah, it was Nas. Yeah,
I wouldn't know who Nas is.
Illmatic. He's an OG from Queens.
Yeah, but that's when we get Musso and Dwight, and they're driving to Texas. And this is when Dwight finds out that they're driving to Texas. So he's like, this isn't a be back by lunch. And he's like, no.
Doesn't really add up. Because he even said it before, and it was a lot back and forth. But this doesn't seem like an official operation. Just picking him up and going, but what can he really do? Dwight's in a tough spot right now. So does it really matter? Because he said, what, am I going to go kill somebody? Is that what you want me for? He's like, no, I need you to make this deal. Right, this guy Dexter Deacon, and they call him the watchmaker. So he's just gonna make a deal.
But Musso doesn't seem like he's dirty. This is something lower level, but something that he wants to take care of. But he does explain exactly how bad this guy is.
Yeah, right.
And he basically makes Freddy look like a saint.
Well. It just makes me wonder what type of evil, because that's what he used, the word evil. Yeah. What type of person? What do you think? He thinks it's like one of those making people disappear.
Well, he talks about killing, like, I don't remember if he said about him killing women and kids, but he's like, what kind of monster, kills women and children? So I mean,
Well,
we
it's
don't
definitely
really know.
something personal. What we do know is that it is something personal.
Yeah.
We find that out later on, but
And- But he tells them, he goes, why don't you send some of your other guys? He goes, this guy is a real bad guy. Our guys, they see right through him. You're a bad guy. Like, you check out. So
he
when
does.
this guy, he does, and when he meets him, I don't believe he ever says who he is.
No, he tells him, he says his name, Dwight, and he tells him to look him up.
He did say, okay.
Yeah, he said, look me up. When he does that whole thing, it's like, all right. But still, if he looks you up, he's going to see all the other drama that you've been involved in. Remember in the last season, he's got a lot of heat on him, obviously, from all the stuff that happened in the previous season.
He's well known.
That's going to come on. He's definitely well known. Yeah, he's got the casino and all that stuff. But the question, if I'm the watchmaker, I'm going to wonder, is like, why are you here? Why are you coming to my shop over here in Texas randomly? Saying you're gonna buy a flag and then saying, what's he was selling it for $2,000 or something like that? And it's like, all right, and it was I don't want the watch fixed. I got plenty of these watches. It's all suspicious, but I guess this is how they want to go about to set up the interaction with the two.
Yes and no. You figure, I mean, if you're part of a crime syndicate like he is, he would find out word of mouth through people, and then they'd say, this is where you're going to want to go. He's not going to just automatically open up and tell you what he does. But if you look for certain things, he'll reach out to you, and then he'll do his research on you. That's how I'm saying it. But that's really all we see from him. He basically says, hey, this is a pretty smart way to, that's a great way to launder your money. And the guy doesn't say anything.
He knows a lot more that we, the viewers, don't know. Like when he started saying all that stuff about laundering the money and filtering and doing all this stuff with the buying, and that's really smart. And we didn't hear any of that. We didn't hear.
I mean, so it doesn't. I mean, that's not hard to figure out, because that's the reason why they have the bar and the weed shop, so they can launder the money.
No. He knows it, but he's actually working there, and he's making it seem like this is his job. He is the one. Yeah. Medfredi doesn't work at these other spots. These are.
Yeah, but he knows about laundering money.
Yeah. I don't know. But for people who wonder, the whole reason why we're just going with this is because that was it. It was a lot of back and forth, but that was just filler. I mean, the only noticeable when it comes to Dwight and the agent is the deputy part when they get pulled over for speeding.
We jumped ahead to the watchmaker.
Yeah, just to get to this one line, and then we'll go with the other ones, because that's pretty much what was happening here. We had the three different paths going here. We had Dwight and the agent. We had Brody, Grace, and Tyson doing their scene, and then we had Chloe and Mitch.
Yeah, because before this, we see the gang, and they're all at the distillery, and then they all decide they have to go their separate ways. Now, this is not what they're supposed to be doing.
Bottling.
They're not supposed to be doing this.
No.
The Tyson, he's a screw up. All right.
He's supposed to be just driving. That was the whole thing, and that was the running joke in this segment here, because he kept saying he's a number two when Dwight's not around, and we were talking about who is the number two. Goodie, I feel like he's the muscle. Right?
At first, I was thinking Goodie was the number two, but then I forgot. Like, he went into business. I mean, he went into business with Bodhi, but he really went into business with Mitch. He's the one that owned the bar. He's the one that was a criminal. Bodhi is really good with money and everything.
Yep.
So this is the one thing that I didn't say anything to you, because I wanted to see if you agree with me on this. When we're listening to Bodhi, Tyson, and Grace talking, it really reminded me of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. They have really good chemistry together.
They do.
Even though I don't like Tyson. I do like Bodhi. I like Bodhi because Bodhi.
He carries the scene pretty much. Yeah. Grace, she throws in a line here and there, but it's when Brody speaks that we're like, all right, he's going to say something.
Grace is the person that when it's time to temper it down, she's there to, all right, and right. And Grace is so different. Again, I still don't understand the majority, just the change of, she was like this, I don't even want to say punk rocker, but very alternative girl for 2 seasons. And there's nothing of that left. Like, it's completely changed.
Yeah, they
right?
wanted
Like,
to change the character. Yeah, they definitely wanted to
but I
change
mean,
the
it's a
character.
complete change. Like, there's nothing that speaks to her old character, other
Mhm.
than that she's like a real badass.
Yeah.
Like, she's crazy.
Yeah. And she's down
But
for anything. So, I
yeah,
mean, even now.
but I like their chemistry. I think their chemistry is good. They're going back and forth because they end up following Cole to wherever he's at. And I mean, Bodhi's just going off about, this car, no one's ever going to see us in this cyber truck.
It looks like it belongs in Blade Runner. Remember, that's what he
So
was doing
they
jokes.
see Cole go in, and then they're like, we're going to go in.
But the key
Which,
part,
again,
and I should have picked it up, but obviously we see it at the end when Tyson was talking about all the cool features of the car. He was saying it's bulletproof, unlike the neon car that he picked them up with, the electric vehicle. So, okay, that comes back later on, so that's why they brought that up.
And I only remember that I don't even remember him saying that, but I do remember the whole bulletproof thing because they were trying to show off, like, yeah, this thing is bulletproof. You can throw a brick at the window and it won't break. And then they threw a brick at the window and it broke, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. That's not going to happen. Yeah.
But they end up going in, following Cole and his two associates, and it's this old folks bingo hall. Now,
Playing bingo.
why they decided to just, like, it wasn't like an office. It didn't say like bingo. It looked like just some sort of like warehouse. So I don't even know why they would think like we should go in here, but they did.
Well, he instantly thought that they were stashing something, and it makes sense because I didn't see a bunch of other cars there. Right? You see the goons, we see Cole and the goons go in, and
you didn't see anything else. That's what I'm saying. Like, I felt like it reminded me. Do you remember when Reacher went in and it was all the guns and everything?
Oh, okay.
Like they followed him in there. Now he was part of the crew or whatever, but it's like that's where all the guns were at. Like I was expecting something like that, not a bunch of old people playing bingo.
Yeah, because then where are they parking? Maybe there's another side, and that's where the parking is, and they came in through the back. Not sure, but either way, it definitely wasn't expecting this. And it's funny because Tyson walked in with gun in hand, and there's a lady working in front. Who's like, "You're gonna have to holster that, Sonny." That type of thing. It's like, all right. He was very cool with it.
I'm just kind of thinking, hey, first off, it is Oklahoma, so it is still kind of the wild, wild west. But no one's walking in with no one should be walking in with an unholstered gun. Like, why would you be doing this? No. But then we jump back to Musso getting a ticket or a cop. He's speeding. It was brought up, so it was already like foreshadowed. Manfredi keeps telling him to slow down, and he's still speeding. And then we see a cop. I believe it was a sheriff or a deputy sheriff. He walks over, he shows him his badge, and he's like, "Hey, we're on the same team." He's like, "You still get a ticket."
Now, if you're in law enforcement on either side of this, please put in the comments. Is this the thing? Because I would think once he flashes the badge, it's like, all right, just be careful you're speeding, and then just walk away. Really, you're gonna give a Fed a ticket? That doesn't.
Usually, from everything that I've ever seen and heard, if you are. Especially if you're fed on official business. Again, this isn't. This is an FBI agent, right? This is an FBI agent saying, and he goes, he doesn't look like one. He's like, he's an informant or whatever.
Well, even that, it's not an associate. What does it matter? What does it matter? He's a Fed. He has a passenger. Let it go.
You have to make sure. Now I would assume that he would run his name. And when it comes back that he's an actual Fed, then he probably leave him and say, hey, you know what? Just slow it down. But either way, Manfredi says, hey, he tells him who he is. He said, can I talk to you? And he knows exactly who he is. And he gets out. And the cop doesn't come off like he's on the take. He's not intimidated. They just have a conversation. And he basically says, hey, are you a fan of the, I think it's Thunder?
Yeah, the Thunder. He's like, oh, my kids. Yeah, of course. They love them. Yeah. I was like, oh, I got a friend. I can get you season tickets, floor seats, da, da, da. All right, you're not BSing. No, just let my buddy go. Starts the small talk about him being, was it a limp or whatever was it that he can't perform? Right? Well, he used that. I wrote that down too. something about a unloaded weapon or something like that. He's like, he can't function, and that's what he's complaining about. I get it. It's supposed to be funny, but that
it's
kind of
just a
fell
lot of
flat. It was like, I'm not.
But it's a lot of filler. The one thing that we do find during this road trip is that Musso keeps bringing up more people in Dwight's crew. He's basically letting him know, I know everyone in your crew, and this is how well I know them.
Except one person, Armand.
Well, no.
He doesn't know. He said, do you know where he is? And then Dwight was like, yeah, he's in Colorado with his family. He's like, is that what you think?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I believe Musso knows exactly where he is.
You think he knows? He's like,
That's why he was asking.
I thought he was just trying to figure out, just
That's
like everybody else, because no one seems to know where he is.
I get.
Where's Waldo?
I took it as Musso saying, do you really know where everyone is? Because, where's Armand at? I guess we'll find out, won't we?
Yeah, I don't know. But that was it. So the only thing that I can think of with this deputy is that he's gonna come back later on, whether to help Dwight in a situation or something's gonna happen. Because I was like, why? What's
everything
the point
gets set up for a reason, right?
Yeah, there has to be. It has to be.
Taylor Sheridan, he was on Sons of Anarchy for a short bit. But you go back and look at Sons of Anarchy, almost everything sets up. Like if something happens with, a cop does something, eventually it comes back of that he's going to help them out. Same with the Shield, which is where.
Well, I hope so. I bet maybe there's a shootout or something, and then he saves Dwight or helps him out, and he's like, "Oh, thanks for helping." He's like, "Yeah, because I need those season tickets." It's like if you go, I don't get the tickets, and my kids, I already made that promise. It's like, oh, okay. But
so we get the triplets. What I have here? Oh yeah, and they go to the bingo hall. They sit down. They play bingo. But then we quickly switch to Mitch and Cleo. They're at the bar, and Mitch comes in and basically says, "Hey, got a surprise for you." And she remembers the car from like their prom night or something.
Yeah, it's a similar car. He says it's not the same year, but this is the car he picked up from when he was working at the used car dealership. And
she's like, "Do you mind if I drive?" He's like, "Hey, that was the plan." And they take off, and they're doing a road trip. They specifically say road trip. Again, you guys are supposed to be bottling all this shit up. All right, like
well, at least he is. Well, no, actually, he wasn't there. He was trying to bring her there because remember he's checking in because she left. That was the issue. She's not supposed to leave, and he went after her type of deal. I was like, what are you doing? We're all the stuff going on, and she just can't be put in one spot. She's like, no. I can't rely on just Dwight. I'm stressed, and he's worried about her because what if Cole and But so this is a way of keeping tabs, I guess.
And then quickly we see Joanne and Bigfoot. She's asking where he's at. And I went goodbye.
No, that was me by accident. Oops.
She's asking where he went. He goes, I don't know. He said, I dropped him off. And this is when Clara shows up, and that is Armand's wife. And she starts going off. Like, where's he at? And she's like, hey, we don't like. He's with the kids. No, he was supposed to pick up the kids. He didn't pick him up. I know you know something. And she's like, we've been looking for him for a week. And if we find something, we'll call. So I don't believe Clara believes that they don't know anything, but they are completely clueless on where Armand is.
Why?
Which makes me wonder, is he written off the show? Did something happen?
Because it's not how it ended in last season. It seemed everything was okay with Armand. He resolved the issue. He got the job again and back at the ranch. And now this.
He was out of their crew. Now, again, we know Goody doesn't like him.
No, yeah.
But I don't think Goody liked him to begin with. If I remember correctly, I don't think Goody liked him.
There was a pass. There was a pass, and he didn't like him then. Because remember, that was the whole thing with Armand leaving. Armand left New York and came out here. Because then that's when Dwight in season 1, right. Remember? He was looking for people that he knew.
That's right. Because Armand thought Armand was there.
Yeah.
Armand thought Dwight was there to take him out.
Yeah. He thought he was going to get rid of him. Yeah. It's like, no. He's like, I'm here. I need work, and I'm doing this and trying to. Yeah.
then we get this quick jump back to Dwight and Musso. Again, this is where he's discussing. He keeps asking about people in his crew. And Dwight's getting really aggravated. To me, it's just saying, hey, just so you know, this Musso guy that they've introduced, this agent, he knows everything. Like, there's nothing that's being uncovered. Dwight's not going to be able to pull anything. Eventually, we know he will, but
I really hope it's not Armand just sneaking around in the bushes, and that's what's going on here. That the agent
I don't
is using Armand. I hope not, because that would be lame. I was like, oh, how did you find all this stuff? Or Armand works for me.
I didn't think about that, but now that you said that, it kind of explains a lot.
Well, because it could explain because he knows all these people. He knows their habits. He knows where they hang out, all that stuff. But still, man.
So this is one.
Yeah.
No, go on.
No, I was just gonna say because one of the other things that he also brings up, the agent, is Ray. The boss of bosses, as he says. And he was like, oh, we don't say that term anymore. And he started talking about that. But he was like, oh, does he know about your booze operation with the distillery? And it's like, so he's keeping tabs, and that's something Armand doesn't know.
Armand, he wouldn't have known about the distillery and all that other stuff.
Yeah, but I know.
Anyway, then we jump to the bingo hall, and this is where we see the triplets. I just call them the triplets. It's easier to write it down. So Grace, Bodhi, and Tyson are all there. And then this is where Goody shows up. And Tyson's like, well, how do they know? How do you know where to find us? Grace is, again, I call them because she's smart enough to know, like, Tyson, you're an idiot. And Bodhi does not want to be there.
No.
Like, Bodhi's like, why are we even here? Although he's a good comic relief at times. And again,
Tyson and Bodhi, they're funny.
I think Bodhi's comic relief. Tyson is good as the butt of jokes. Normally.
Yeah.
Now Goody, again, he's a mobster. Like, he's an actual mobster. Yeah. He was part of the family. And then when he came there to watch him, Dwight pretty much told him, right? Hey, you pick what family you want to be part of.
Yeah. He recruited him because he was working for Chicky and all of them. And he was like, you know what? I got it better out here. All right, fine. I'll just.
So he explains everything. Hey, they're cheating and they show everything. They're ripping off all these old people.
They had a plant because he's getting people. He said he's taking money at the door, obviously, because it's his operation. And then he had a plant that was winning, and they were taking the winnings. That's kind of messed up.
So this is where he basically says, hey, I'm going to show you how to fix this. Because again, like, at least from most things that we know about Italian mob, they do not go after women and children. There's a reason why it's called organized crime.
Well,
there's a reason why the feds will work with organized crime. They're not out just.
Well, like here, they're not hurting anyone, but they are robbing people. So maybe this doesn't really make much sense with all of that. But still, why do this? For me, when I get that, but I was like, I don't know. It's something about it just seemed real low. Just think about it. All right, the Dunn-Myers family, with all the money they have, with their booze operation, and it seems like they have other things going. This doesn't seem like the type of business venture or type of operation to run to really make a lot of money. Yeah, okay, there's old people all the time playing bingo. We don't know what they were charging at the door. We don't know what the pot looks like because I
kind of feel like it's just that like they're showing that Cole, even though he's the son, he's just a screw up. He's just there, right? But he's not your typical super dumb guy. He's smart enough to run some sort of scams, but he's not smart enough to eventually run this operation that his dad has created.
This makes me wonder if this is a real thing. Like of just skimming and putting a plant. Probably is, but
I believe it.
Kind of shady. I mean, they show it. They make it seem like, when the guy's turning the balls and then he reaches under and he actually has another set that he grabs and he says it to call out for the plant to always win.
My grandmother used to play bingo. A little 4'11", full Mexican. I wouldn't have screwed her, but I will tell you this:
Oh, damn.
what I would have screwed my grandma. She would have whipped all our asses. But the guy, well, the family that owned the bingo hall, I went to school with the guy. They were Yugoslavian. Guy's name was Zoran, right? Big dude. In 5th grade, he's big, right? So, and he was part of the Yugoslavian crowd, and they were, different tiers of where I was, right?
Okay.
And my grandmother once told him, she said, "Oh, you know my grandson. You don't ever let anything happen." I mean, this guy's a big guy. You don't ever let anything happen to him. And that, I mean, he was. If someone would have messed with me, that guy would have been like right there.
Wow.
Like, no. Like,
yeah. Grandma got the respect. Then also shout out to the big dude, because that means he respects his elders. Because he probably is like, oh, I have a grandma just like that. All right. So hearing her talk is like hearing his grandma.
He got a Dodge Viper when he graduated. That's all I have to say.
Whoa. All right. Shout out to that. Damn.
Yes.
That's all right. I got you. Well,
and then in the winter, he drove this like.
Did he drive you around?
I actually never rode in it. Because like we weren't like friends, but like we'd see and we'd talk or whatever. We weren't like the crowd. But he got a Viper for when he graduated. But in the winter, you'd see him driving around. He drove like this. I don't want to say beat up minivan, but an older minivan because
he doesn't want to mess up his car with the
salt.
You
could drive. We're in Michigan. Like you can't. This was when again we graduated in '94. They didn't have tops. They didn't have.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so back to grandma though. Did she win at the bingo?
Oh, she must have won at times.
Okay.
Like this one was not. Yeah. But my grandmother would have known. I mean, they grew up in that era, right?
I don't know. Yeah.
And
then also here though, if this is the situation, if this is the scam that they're running, if you're a regular at the bingo hall and you keep seeing, I don't know, Julie over there winning every time, it's like, this is fixed. So maybe they rotated around. You would think, I'm still not sold. I think that's my issue. I'm just not sold on the whole bingo.
I think it's just supposed to show what a piece of crap Cole.
Yeah, I get that. And he's jacked. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
This dude, we could see it. That shirt still can't hide it. He looks like he's about to rip through. So.
But then we jump back to Dwight.
Yeah.
So Dwight goes in the watch store and basically everything we've already talked about.
Yeah, we already said, and then we just.
Yeah, he goes in there and this is a very short. Now, this is a lot of setup, but now we're having someone introduced into this. And this is how many episodes?
6.
6?
Yeah, we're halfway
through. We're already in 3. So I would assume maybe this is setting up for season 4. Right?
Yeah. It could be. It could be.
Because we still have to tie up the Dunmire. So they're introducing watchmaker.
We have 3 now. Now we have 3 issues going on here because we also have to tie it with Ray. Ray's going to play a factor. So
yeah, but I think that's going to be one of those factors that's always hanging around.
And then Bill, I still think Bill's going to try to double cross Dwight. He's going to get fed up. We didn't see him at all in this episode.
Nope.
So we saw him get on the phone. He was pissed.
We'll see. We didn't see the guy running for governor. So they
talked about him, but
people. Yeah, there is a lot of people that are in play in this universe right now.
Definitely.
But anyway, we already talked about it. He went in there.
Yeah, we got that
basically
one.
Tells you, hey, he's basically telling the guy, reach out to me because he needs something. So then we jump back to the bingo hall, and this is where they win because they do their they do their own scam so they can win. And then Cole and them confront them, and they're like, "Hey, I don't think you want everyone knowing that you didn't pay out one of your winners." So he makes them pay them, and then
in front of everybody, they did this whole thing pretty much right there on stage.
Like, isn't it like? When they're saying stuff like that, and again, these 4 people, first off, they don't fit together to begin with. All right, you have a pothead, a former punk rocker. Now, again, she's not a punk rocker. You have a black guy in the suit, and then you have a clear mobster, and then you have 3 rednecks.
It's just the whole thing,
and then old people playing bingo.
Yeah, it just. Like this scene didn't work for me. That's the whole, like, you're pointing it out now, and then I'm looking at the image and it's throwing all the thoughts in my head. I'm like, none of this fits.
See,
If
I
this
thought
interaction should have happened off stage,
so.
but they did it right in front like a show.
Yeah, so when I first saw this and I saw Cole doing this, I thought we were going to see like, oh, wait a minute, he's an actual good guy. Like he does this, like he goes out there and he works with these old people. No, it's the exact opposite. He's ripping them off.
Yeah. Well,
So they're basically just, this guy is a piece of trash.
We also don't hear anything about Spencer. They didn't bring that up. Remember, he helped Spencer out when he punched the guy. So I'm thinking maybe that was him just being nice. Because remember, I thought it was a setup. I was like, oh, this is his way of getting close. He'll get close to Spencer. They'll start dating, and then she'll start feeding him information on what Dwight's doing.
Again, we focused in on three sets of people here. Not three. Yeah, three sets of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's all to get to the setup at the end.
Yeah.
But then we get Tyson and Cleo going to the gas station.
Oh, boy,
and there's just so much filler. She's Cleo's a klepto.
She is very adventurous. I think we've all met someone like this, guy or girl, it doesn't matter. There's always one. I've had a few friends that would just do spontaneous things like this. I remember going with my one buddy. He was like, oh, we're gonna go buy stuff. I go to the grocery store, we'll buy some sandwiches, stuff like that. Next thing I can whip out candy bars. It's like, what? We just bought food. He was like, yeah, but I didn't feel like going back up to the register, so I just put the stuff in my pocket. And
I had a friend like that too. It became a challenge to see the most stupidest and the largest things that he could steal.
Wow. You see? And then that was the scene here. They're in the gas station, and she grabs a bottle of booze, and she just stuffs it in his pants. He's just wearing a T-shirt.
So I think at this point, when they decide to go on the road trip, I think this is when the wheels start spinning in her head. She gets in there. She's stealing the stuff. She gets him to kind of steal stuff. This is where she's kind of getting the courage, like, hey, this guy's going to stand by me. This is my time to go and confront Dunmire. And he's clueless. Yeah. But at the same time, and we see it at the end, Mitch flat out tells her, this is not how we do things.
Plus, he's an ex-con. I'm sure he's still on parole or something like that. He had said that in the first meeting with Dwight.
He doesn't want to end up in long pole again.
Yeah, he doesn't want to end up again. And if something happens,
I don't want to end up there a first time.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Nobody does. Nobody does want to end up there.
Well, some people seem to want to go there. That's how I know. Like,
it's a crazy time.
So we end up with back to Dwight and Musso driving back. Again, there's a lot of driving, and to me, it's all them just setting up their rapport. But then we jump to Cleo driving right to. Again, you would think at this point, like, Mitch knew, like, wait, where the hell are you going? And she's going to do a long job, middle of the day, and she does a hell of a long job.
Yeah, doing the whole donuts and making all the noise. Of course, he's home. He comes out. He's got his guys. They're pointing guns at them. What did you? I don't know. Maybe if this scene would have played out a little better if it was at night, because we know that they spent the entire day. Then it would have made more sense. You're going to do this in broad daylight? That doesn't make much sense. But she's upset. She comes out and she almost was she drinking? She drank a little bit, but I don't think she was super.
Yeah, no, I don't think she. I think this was just her building up, and then this is how I gathered. Like, once he was willing to steal the stuff and get out, she knew that, hey, you're gonna protect me. You're on my side, right? And he's not, because he doesn't want to die or go to jail. I would assume he'd get killed before anything. And she gets out. She's going to try and burn down the house. Now, the amount of alcohol she had with the little flame would not have caught this house on fire. And again, this is where Jeremiah Dunmire comes out and basically says, hey, I don't really appreciate you ruining my lawn. He's actually pretty polite about it for a murderer.
I think, the other issue is what is he going to do? He's not going to call the police. That's not his style. He's not gonna go
It's
down that
it's
road.
like, hey, you stole my drugs, give them back. Are you gonna call
Yeah.
the police? All right. Well,
No.
I guess we're
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So it's like, all right, just get out of here, and then she's trouble. There you go. So
Yeah.
and he knows it when he's in the car. He pretty much tells her, "Don't ever do that again." And she's over here worried about Dwight and if she should trust him and all that stuff. He's like, "Don't just stay
Well,
out. He's handling it. You don't need to do all this craziness. You're going to cause more problems."
so you brought it up. We'll get back to the strip club. Let's just
Yeah.
finish the Mitch and Cleo thing.
Yeah.
When they pull up to the bar and he goes off on her, I thought this was really, really good acting. She as an actress looks visibly upset. She's shook. She doesn't she didn't realize that he was going to be this mad. Like she is hurting because this guy killed her father, and you can't blame her, right? Like, and he goes off and he explains the whole situation. Like, we do stuff undercover, not over the covers. And he made it perfectly clear what Dwight says. Like, whatever the hierarchy is after Dwight, who's number 2? Again, I think it's Mitch, as you can clearly see. Dwight is the main guy, and they all know it. There's no one trying to take him over, at least these guys. And if anyone knows best, it's Mitch. He's the one who's done stuff like this.
It makes me wonder, when was the last time the two saw each other, Cleo and Mitch? Was it just high school? Because the fact that she's trying to do all this stuff, and he talks about the car and all this, and I get it, he went to jail for a while.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why she's reverting back to how they used to be when they used to hang out.
Possibly, but like I said, I think this was her just seeing if this person is going to stand by her.
I mean, he's helping her out already. Yeah.
He did. But then behind closed doors, he told her, "Don't ever do this again. This is why we have never worked."
And she wants it to work, because right there, he said, "If you do, that's it. We're done. This is
I would want it to work.
She's like, no.
This is a very successful TV show. I'd want it to work too.
Exactly. She's like,
I need
this season 4 payout. I need season 4. Can we work this out? Let's throw in a kid or something. Let's make this last. I want to ride this train."
So this takes place after the strip club. So now let's go to strip club. And we see the 4 of them. Goodie, Tyson, Grace, and Bodhi.
It's Miller time. They're happy because they did get the payout.
Yes, there's some very comical stuff, like Bodhi. You've never been to a strip club before, and he's like, "I was once, but I forget how he said it." Between you and me, I feel no need to go to strip clubs. I've been to a few before. Why am I going to spend money on someone? I'd rather spend money on someone I might actually go home with and I want to spend time with. Yeah. That's just me. If you go to strip clubs, more power to you. Not where I want to spend my money. I'd rather buy toys. I have issues.
There you go. Everybody got issues. But yeah, well, even Tyson has some issues because there's a stripper comes up to him and
he's making it rain is what they call it, right?
He's throwing money around.
Call it making it rain.
That's what they used to call it. I don't know if they say that anymore.
And Goody's very like, that's your money, man. Like, that's your money. Like, make sure. Oh no, the stuff that's the stuff that's Dwight's already taken care of or whatever.
He was earning, because remember that was another topic that they brought up in the car of like who's number 1, who's number 2, and it was like, well, it has to be someone that can earn, that type of deal.
That's what Bodhi said. Usually the earner is number 2,
which is why he considers himself number 2.
Yeah,
Tyson's not number 2, but Tyson feels like, well, I drive him around.
You're the driver. You're the driver. And again, Dwight's already pretty much told them like who he is. And again, if they have lieutenants, I mean, I guess
there's a hierarchy.
You would be looking at as Mitch as a lieutenant. I would probably say Bodhi is too. I mean, he is the brains of the operation for the most part.
I wouldn't be surprised if it comes up in one of the episodes.
Wouldn't either.
Where Brody brings up, it's like, hey, by the way, who's number 2? And I bet I know who he's gonna say. And you want to know who it is? Joanne, his sister. Because he had in the last episode, he said,
made it
remember, if
clear.
you're talking to him, if she's talking from me. You have to
Then
see her
you know
the
what?
same respect.
I didn't think of that, but that breaks the whole mob rules, right? Like you don't.
It's family. It's family.
You're
Though.
absolutely right. He said that you're talking to her, then you're talking to me.
Yeah.
The one thing that we have seen throughout the series, and especially even in the season, when it comes to Dwight, he's going to stick by his guys against somebody else.
Of course.
And then, if, he'll stick by them to like an outside family, but maybe once it's done, that's when he talks to him and says, you don't do that again. That's not how we do things. And that's why Mitch is perfect. He understands, even though he's not part of the mob, he understands. He sees it right away and he says, this is how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So, but he makes it rain. Then the Serenity takes him back. And of course, then he starts asking, like, what do you want to like? Wait, what do you want to do?
Who does that? I'm sorry. I've been in these situations. I know people on both sides of this type of situation too. And the people involved don't want to talk about that type of stuff. And two, you don't bring that stuff up. For him to, he just met her once. It's like, oh, what do you want to do with yourself besides this? And asking all and that's why I cracked that joke, because that's the joke that we always hear. It's like, oh, I'm working my way through med school. Like that's why I'm really here. It's like, well, come on now. It's like you got your 20 minutes, whatever it is that you're there, and then you're out.
I want to be a nurse. Okay.
Right. They're saying, all right, whatever. What does it matter? We're only here for a few minutes. Have a good time.
Yeah, it's not what I'm there for. I'm not there to find out like what you want to do in life. All right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I was like, this doesn't make sense. He just met her. I can understand if this is a reoccurring segment here. He's always going in. He has his eye on her. He's like, oh, you're too pretty. You're too good for this place. He wants to. There's a derogatory term. I'm not going to save it, but it's like, save someone type of deal.
That's something right there. Like, maybe he is someone who goes in there all the time, because she seemed to know exactly who he was.
Maybe he does. They've never. This is the first time. At least on the show.
This is where I think a lot of stuff kind of falls apart, in my opinion. Cole puts a gun to his head. She kind of freaks out, or at least we think she does. Then we see him outside, and they're beating the crap out of him. Now, again, how long was Tyson going to stay in this back room before Goody, Grace, and Bodhi started asking questions? Now,
so you thought that happened in the back of the place? I thought they took him away already.
Well, they took him to the back alley.
I guess, yeah.
So, to me, yeah, Grace and Bodhi may not have noticed. Goody is the one that's constantly watching stuff, right? Like, he knows what's going on. He would have noticed, hey, he's been gone too long. But either way, they beat the crap out of him in the back. And he's like, I wouldn't tell you if I even knew where the barrels were. They're asking where the 50 barrels are. Not the 50, the 50-year-old barrels.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says, yeah, I know you're not going to talk. Something like that. And then you bring out Serenity. And he counts down. And they get to like 2, and then it goes black. I thought that was going to be the end of the episode.
It could have been. That could have been a good spot right there. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. Tune in next week to find out. Did Tyson give up the location? That's how they do.
Same Dwight channel. Same Dwight time.
There we go. While you're at it, like and subscribe. Tell your friends.
Next thing we see is Cole, and I like that it's like they only have one of the guys. Cole Thug 1. That's what he has on IMDb. They don't even have Cole Thug 2.
That's his credit. I'm sure that guy is pissed. He was like, "Oh, I'm in the show. Yeah, let me see it on IMDb. I got no credit."
Josh Diogo.
Shout out to Josh. Shout out to Josh.
Josh, you got a job. You are a Cole Thug 1. Anyway, we see Cole and the 2 thugs walking through, looking at all these barrels. Now remember, there was 200 barrels.
Big barrels, not little barrels, very big barrels.
So what we get is the thugs coming out, and we see Tyson is in the back of the Cybertruck. And Cole goes to make a call. They say, what do you want to do with him? And he says, I don't care, which means you can eliminate him.
Whack him.
So then they start like, okay, he goes off. They start shooting at the truck. Remember, the Cybertruck is supposed to be bulletproof.
Uh-uh.
And we clearly know he survives because we see it at the end.
I have a problem with this scene also.
I got a problem too.
Because how? Wait, so how did he end up with the car? Did someone with Thug One? Did Thug One drive his vehicle, Tyson's vehicle, instead of just putting Tyson in their trunk? They decide to take his truck, but then not really take his truck. If anything, you would think they would, if they did do that, they would just dump his body and still keep the truck, whether for parts or drive or do something. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't add up to do this.
Again, Goody did come there alone. So did just Grace and Bodhi decide, you know what, we're not going to wait for him. He has his own transportation, drive us home. Bodhi doesn't, Goody doesn't seem the type to be like, let's get my car and go for a ride. He'd be like, you can wait for him. I'm out of here.
I think this will be answered in the next episode because that was an act, but I have a feeling
because Goody is the one that gets called.
Yeah, so he calls.
Yeah, they basically shoot at the back of the truck. How he survives, I don't know, because eventually you would assume these thugs were like, our bullets are just bouncing off like it's Superman.
It was nighttime. Thug One was not paying attention. He just knows he's
Josh.
Josh, shout out to Josh, Thug One. See, that should be his wrestling name, Thug One. So he's over here taking a bunch of shots. He's not paying attention. He's not even thinking that, wow, maybe this car is bulletproof. I don't think that's the first thing you think of when you're shooting at a car. That
the bullets aren't going through it, but again, I've never shot up a car, so.
But
anyway, yeah. Tyson realizes, hey, you know what? This thing's bulletproof. I'm okay. And then it goes black again.
And we're like, it's over. No, it's not.
Yeah. But then we jump to Dwight sitting with Margaret, and basically they're just talking about everything that's going on. Again, Margaret is barely in it. Once again, she's barely in last episode.
And he just gave her a job, an errand to keep her off the show because he said, I need you to gather information about the dude that we just talking about from last season that wants to be governor.
Yeah.
And Cal, because she was like, there's no way. She says that he's going to be a governor because he's a bachelor. And that's just not how it works. It's usually they put family men in that position. And he's like, well, find out and see how things are going. And she's like, yeah, I can do that. And so that's telling me that it's like pushing her away from the situation. And maybe that could be just for the show. But then also, remember, he was trying to kick her off in the first episode just to get her away because of all the drama in his life. So maybe this is his way of trying to keep her at a distance so that way she's protected. If something goes down, she's not always around him in case Dunmire tries to do something stupid at the casino.
But this is when he gets a call from Goody and basically says, hey, we got a problem, get down here. And then we see in the cellar Dwight showing up. Goody is there, and our resident idiot Tyson is sitting there beat up, and all the barrels are gone. Now, I am with you because we do hear Cole say, hey, let's call and get the truck. Now, 200 barrels.
Long time.
Full bourbon. Now, again, move a barrel of water because bourbon would probably be more expensive. That's not going to be easy to move.
It's going to take time also.
It's all gone. I'm with you. What did they come with, a semi?
And then also, who called Goody? I'm assuming it's Tyson that called Goody.
Well, I think he had his phone.
If he had his phone and he called, it's not that long of a trip, obviously, from wherever they were to the distillery. So they would have intercepted the truck moving 200 barrels.
I don't know.
Unless he sees it. That's the only thing I could think of. Maybe we're talking about something that's going to be mentioned in the next episode, which
hopefully
would be Goody calling up and saying, yeah, we have a problem. Well, as we saw this whole thing, but when he explains what happened, he's like, when I pulled up, I saw a truck pulling out.
Yeah.
And then, I came down here and realized that they took all the booze.
That's how it ends. This is a very anticlimactic episode. Yeah, and I know I said it on what we were recording for Slow Horse or Slow House. as I said, I feel like
House.
I feel like episode 2 of most of these shows we've been watching, episode 2 is the setup for the rest of the season. This was a total filler episode.
Yeah. They threw in a lot of new pieces, the watchmaker, more things going on with the agent, but overall, I mean,
it was enjoyable, but nothing happened. This was truly an episode of nothing.
Yeah. Well, the other thing, and I'll bring it up because I thought I forgot. I looked at my notes, things to mention. I forgot to bring this up. One of the other things that bothered me was Dwight telling the deputy when he pulled up that he was an informant. It was like, yeah, I work for the feds. Like, why would you spew that? Especially if this guy does know about you, because now he's going to tell everybody. He's law enforcement. He's going to tell all his other local law enforcement buddies. Oh, by the way,
I'm with you on that because he's like, so you're like an informant. He's like, oh yeah, like he's ashamed of it, but it doesn't change the fact that then it's, hey, this guy's not a real. He's not a real. Mobster. He's an informant. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah. So some of the things that happened in this episode, not crazy about. We need answers. I don't know if we're going to get that type of answer of how long it took for a truck to show up and move 200 barrels. I think it's gone.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
So. Right? They're just going to be like, yeah, it happened. Just suck it up. That's it.
But in episode 4, 5, and 6, the stuff that was asked here, the stuff that we saw, if there's a build-up and a lead, then I'll be happy.
All right. So, I mean, that's it. The only thing I can say is with the Mitch and Chloe, don't really care too much about that. It doesn't. I mean, I get this is they're throwing in a little love type story going on before we had Margaret and Dwight. Now no one cares about that, so we're moving on into Chloe and Mitch. I don't care.
There were other ways. There were other ways to get to the point of Mitch having to tell Chloe, "Hey, this is how we do things. This is our hierarchy, right?"
Yeah.
But so we went on a love drive and
whole thing. I wonder if this whole thing going on with the watchmaker is going to be a side mission just for Dwight, because as of right now, Dwight hasn't told anyone about the agent that he's working with, the Fed.
Yeah.
So is this going to be something that's not a running joke, but a running type of thing? Like, hey, I got to step away for a little bit, and he gets in a car for 3 hours, and then he comes back, and he's just constantly doing this.
He's got 3 episodes. He can't do it for the next 3 episodes. I mean, so I have a feeling this is a setup for season 4.
Yeah,
I don't know.
What do you guys think? Yeah, what do you people think of this episode? Good, bad, meh? How do you see this panning out with all of this? Like you said, you think the watchmaker is just setting up for season 4?
Sounds like it.
I think the whole thing with Ray is just a filler for Chicky, because it seems like the same idea, right? It was like, yeah, I want a piece of the action. Oh, yeah, we went down this road already. Oh,
yeah, exactly.
All right, so here we go again, and definitely there's going to be some kind of battle with. I think Cole is going to be the first casualty before they get to Jeremiah. Something's going to happen with Cole. Right.
Yeah, I don't think Cole making it out of the season.
Yeah. There we go. All right. So there you go, people. Thanks again for sticking around. Please click the like, subscribe. We cover a bunch of shows here, and chime in. What's your thoughts on the shows that we're covering? This Slow Horses and stuff like that. So, all right, we will be back next week for episode 4.
Take care.
All right.